It's no secret that the Amish are an intriguing group of people. They live simple lives, travel slowly, and dress distinctively. But what else do we really know about them? For thousands of years, they have followed their own rules and traditions in their self-sufficient communities. Living like this means that the outside world is largely unaware of what goes on in these tight-knit groups. And there are some things happening behind closed doors that outsiders can't even imagine. Some may call them the weirdest people in America, or maybe even the happiest people in America. Whatever you think of the Amish, there is no denying that they are an interesting group of people who don't seem to fit into modern American society. This makes them all the more intriguing for the rest of us. Here are 10 dark things the Amish do that the outside world can't understand. Number 1, the Amish live by hundreds of rules. The Amish way of life is heavily dictated by religious beliefs and tradition. They follow the teachings of the Bible very closely and incorporate them into every facet of their daily lives. One of the most significant ways in which they do this is through the Ordnung. The Ordnung is a set of rules and regulations that govern all aspects of Amish life. It covers everything from how they should dress to how they should interact with non-Amish people. These rules are not set in stone, however, and different Amish communities may have different interpretations of what is acceptable behavior. For example, some Amish communities may allow the use of certain modern conveniences such as electricity, while other communities may strictly prohibit their use. The Ordnung is not a punishment, but rather a way of life. The Amish believe that following these rules will help them to maintain their way of life and protect them from the temptations of the outside world. Many of the rules may seem strange to outsiders, but to the Amish, they are simply a way of living a life that is pleasing to God. Number 2, the Amish shun each other. The concept of shunning in the Amish community is one of the most misunderstood and controversial aspects of their culture. Shunned is a form of social discipline used to correct bad behavior or beliefs within the community. When a member of the Amish community does something that is considered to be wrong, they may be shunned by the other members of their community. This means that they may be excluded from social events, religious services, and other important aspects of community life. In extreme cases, they may even be shunned by their own family members. Shunning is not a punishment, but rather a way of encouraging the individual to correct their behavior and return to the community. However, it can be a very effective form of social control and can have a devastating impact on the individuals who are shunned. Number 3, the Amish take their children out of public schools. The Amish community has its own educational system, which is separate from the public school system. Amish children are typically educated at home by their parents or in small groups with other children in their community. This is done for several reasons. First, the Amish believe that children learn best in a home environment where they feel loved and supported by their family. Second, the Amish want to protect their children from the influence of worldly ideas and values that are often taught in public schools. And third, the Amish value community and want their children to be educated in a setting where they can interact with other members of their faith. The Amish educational system may not be the same as the public school system, but it is just as effective. In fact, studies have shown that Amish children who are educated at home or in small community groups perform just as well academically as children who attend public schools. For the Amish only travel by horse. Travel is an integral part of our lives. Whether it's for work, leisure, or family, we all need to get from one place to another. But for the Amish, travel is not just a means to an end, it's a way of life. For the Amish, travel is not just about getting from one place to another, it's a way of connecting with their community and their heritage. They travel by horse because it's a way of honoring their traditions and staying connected to their roots. And while it may seem like a quaint and idyllic way to get around, traveling by horse has its challenges. The Amish must contend with traffic, weather, and the physical demands of caring for their horses, but for the Amish, these challenges are simply part of the journey. They believe that the simplicity and humility of traveling by horse is a reflection of their faith and their commitment to their way of life. Number 5, the Amish have limited medical care. The Amish are known for their simple lifestyle and their close-knit communities. But what many people don't know is that the Amish also have a unique approach to medical care. Unlike most Americans, the Amish do not rely on modern medicine for their health needs. Instead, they turn to a variety of traditional methods, including herbal remedies, home birth, and the expertise of midwives and traditional healers. The Amish have a deep mistrust of modern medical practices, which they believe are often unnecessary and can be harmful. They also value the holistic approach of traditional medicine, which takes into account the spiritual, emotional, and physical aspects of healing. While this may seem like a radical approach to medical care, the Amish have been using these methods for centuries, and they have a strong track record of success. In fact, studies have shown that the Amish have lower rates of chronic disease and higher life expectancies than the general population. Number 6. The Amish do not celebrate birthdays. Celebrating birthdays is a common practice in many cultures around the world. It's a time to come together with friends and family to honor the birth of a loved one and to reflect on the past year of their life. But for the Amish, celebrating birthdays is not something that they do. For the Amish, celebrating birthdays is seen as a form of vanity and a distraction from their religious beliefs. They believe that drawing attention to oneself on one's birthday is a form of pride and arrogance, and they strive to live a life of humility. Additionally, the Amish believe that the focus on material gifts and festivities associated with birthday celebrations is a waste of time and resources. Instead, they prefer to spend their time and energy on more important matters, such as their religious practices and their relationships with their family and community. Number 7. The Amish do not use electricity. The Amish way of life is characterized by a strict adherence to tradition and a rejection of modern conveniences. One of the most recognizable symbols of this lifestyle is their use of horse-drawn buggies instead of cars. But their rejection of modern technology goes beyond just transportation. The Amish do not use electricity in any aspect of their lives. They reject the use of electrical appliances, lighting, and even basic amenities like air conditioning and heating. This may seem like a huge sacrifice to the average person, but for the Amish, it is a necessary part of their faith. They believe that electricity is a distraction from their religious beliefs and can lead to a dependence on technology that can ultimately corrupt their way of life. By rejecting electricity, the Amish are able to maintain their independence and preserve their unique way of life. Number 8. The Amish do not use credit cards or checks. In today's world, credit cards and checks are essential for everyday transactions. From buying groceries to paying for services, these forms of payment are widely accepted and convenient for consumers. However, for the Amish, they choose to live a different way of life. The Amish do not use credit cards or checks for several reasons. First, they prefer to pay for goods and services in cash, which allows them to stick to a budget and avoid debt. Second, they want to maintain control over their finances and not be tied to financial institutions. Finally, they believe that using credit cards and checks can lead to overspending and a dependence on material possessions, which is contrary to their religious beliefs. Instead of using modern forms of payment, the Amish rely on bartering and trading systems to exchange goods and services within their communities. This helps to build a sense of community and self-sufficiency, which are important values in their way of life. Number 9. The Amish do not use telephones. One of the most noticeable differences between the Amish and the rest of society is their lack of telephone use. In a world where smartphones are practically an extension of our hands, the Amish remain disconnected, relying instead on more traditional forms of communication. There are a few reasons for this. First, the Amish believe that telephones can be a source of gossip and unnecessary distractions. They prefer to limit their communication to essential matters and to use face-to-face interactions whenever possible. Additionally, the Amish value their privacy and do not want their conversations being transmitted electronically. By avoiding telephones, they are able to maintain control over their communications and protect their privacy. Finally, the Amish see technology as a potential threat to their way of life, and they are wary of adopting new technologies that could disrupt their communities. 10. The Amish struggle to maintain their way of life. Despite the beauty and simplicity of the Amish way of life, it's important to recognize the struggles that they face in maintaining their traditions and values in a rapidly changing world. The Amish are constantly confronted with the challenge of balancing their desire to preserve their cultural heritage with the pressures of modern society, as the outside world becomes increasingly encroaches on their way of life. The Amish must constantly work to protect their communities and their traditions. Despite these challenges, the Amish have shown incredible resilience and determination in preserving their way of life. By staying true to their values and working together as a community, they have been able to maintain their traditions and continue their unique way of life for generations.